Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. So we're going to be talking about the dark side, also known as the shadow side, of master number 33 today. But we're also going to be talking about the positive qualities of 33 as well. If you only want to find out about the negative qualities of this number, you can go ahead and skip to that part of the video. I will put the timestamp for that right here, so you can skip to that part if you want. But we're going to be talking about the positive qualities of this number first. Because in numerology, all numbers have two sides. They have a positive side and they also have a negative side as well. And you could fall anywhere on the spectrum with this number. So on some days you might be more on the positive side, on other days you might be more on the negative side, or in general you just might be more on one side than the other. Whatever that is, whatever the situation is for you, that's okay, right? There's no judgment here. And this will apply to you if your life path number is a master number 33, or if you resonate highly with the 33 energy. So like if there's a master number 33 somewhere in your core chart, like if it's your expression number or your soul's urge or birthday number, then this could also apply to you as well. So the first thing you need to know about master number 33 is that it is a master number. And because it is a master number, people that tend to have this number will have more challenging lives than other people, because there is a greater level of mastery going on here. So imagine that Earth is a university and everybody is just working on a basic degree. You, as a master number, are working on a more advanced degree, a more difficult degree, such as a master's degree or a PhD, something like that. So your life is going to be more challenging. And you might have felt like this your whole life. You might have felt like, while it was so much easier for everybody else, it was always so challenging for you. And you might have felt like as soon as you conquered one challenge, another one was just thrown at you and you had to overcome it. Or it just seemed like everybody else had things so easily, or things happened for other people so easily. But for you, you had to work so hard to get where you are. And you might have felt like life was a constant battle and a constant struggle while you were growing up. And you could still feel like that now, but it's likely that you especially felt like that while you were a child and while you were growing up. And often master numbers will be placed into families of great turmoil while they're growing up. So you might have felt like your family environment was very tumultuous and very difficult. Or you might have felt like something bad was always happening to your family, or something bad was always happening to you while you were growing up. It's very common for master numbers to be placed into families of turmoil. Now, that's not the case for all master numbers. You might be listening to this and you might have had wonderful experiences growing up with a very positive family home environment. But for the large majority of master numbers, this family of turmoil or a very difficult childhood is very, very common. And all of that is happening basically to challenge you and to help you reach a higher level of consciousness than some of the other numbers, right? Because you guys are here to master something about yourself. And for master number 33, the challenge for you is to master your ability to become a great healer. So you guys are the great healers, and you have this great healing ability about you. And the way you choose to heal people through this natural healing power that you have within you really is up to you. So that is what you get to decide. And master 33s will do this by either utilizing the energy of number 3 or the energy of number 6. Because in 33 there are 2 3s, but if you add the 3s together you get a 6. So there's a constant push and pull between the 3 and the 6 energy going on between this number. And there's a lot of duality within master 33 because of that constant battle between the 3 and the 6. And often 33s will feel more like the 3 energy when they're younger, but then when they grow up, they feel more like the 6 energy. Or it could be vice versa. And the 3 energy is all about creativity and self-expression, and the 6 energy is all about nurturing, taking care of, and having compassion for others. So let's first talk about how some 33s on the positive side of this number utilize the 6 energy to be the great healers that they were meant to be. So they tend to be highly empathic, which is they're very emotionally sensitive to other people's feelings, and often they can just sense how that person is feeling when they're around them, even without that person telling them. They just know. So you guys are highly empathic, and this great empathic ability helps you in your ability to heal other people, right? We can't heal other people unless we feel what they're feeling and feel what they're going through. You might want to check out that video on the positives and the negatives on number 6 after you're done with this, because some of that will apply to you as well. But the 6 energy is all about caring and loving other people and nurturing other people, taking care of other people. And that's part of your ability as a great healer. You can't heal other people if you're not compassionate and nurturing towards them. And this is one of the reasons you might have gone through struggle and challenges and turmoil when you were a kid. All of that happened to you to help you to develop compassion and understanding and empathy for other people. How can you understand what another person is going through if you've never been through that yourself? So all of that happens to you for a reason, so that you guys can become these great healers that you were meant to be. And often just being in your presence, people are being healed. That's right, just being around a master number 33. And often most of you don't even realize that this is happening and that you are doing this for other people. And you are transmuting their negative energy. You are transmuting their unhealed energy, and you're healing it for them. So as I had mentioned before, this healing can take place in many different ways. So you can heal people through taking care of them and nurturing them, and that's what some master number 33s do. But other master number 33s choose to heal people through utilizing the energy of the number 3 and divinely inspired creativity. So as a master number, you are highly connected to source energy. You are constantly receiving downloads and information from source. The veil is thinner for you guys than it is for other numbers. But there is a huge difference between the way master number 11 and master number 22 use this divine information that they're receiving as compared to the way a master number 33 uses this divine information that you guys are channeling. And often 33s will take this divine information and they will use it to basically express themselves and to be extremely creative. So we see a lot of great performing artists that have this number. Meryl Streep is a master number 33. So you'll see a lot of great performers, actors, and artists, and people that are basically channeling their information and their creativity from a higher source. And they're using that creativity and that self-expression to heal people. So while for some 33s, they heal people by literally taking care of them and nurturing them, either taking care of children, taking care of the family, or becoming doctors and nurses, or like Reiki healers, that kind of thing. Other 33s might choose to heal people through performing for them, or creating some sort of self-expression or creative art for them, or some sort of musical composition for them. Some sort of self-expression, basically, which can heal people because it can bring joy to people, and it can bring happiness and peace, and it can inspire people in ways that you can't even imagine. The 33 is a service-providing number, and in both situations, a service is being provided, and a healing is taking place through both of those methods. So because 33 has a lot of the 3 energy going on with the double 3s in it, if they're on the positive side of this number, they tend to be really good at communicating, and they tend to be highly self-expressive. So self-expression is very important to them. If they don't get a chance to talk it out and express themselves, what's going on their mind, and have a chance to vent and talk about it, then they can become very depressed, because this need for self-expression is very important within them. They also tend to be very uplifting and very funny and jovial. So a 33 on the positive side, you want to be around them because you just feel uplifted and you feel positive and you feel happier. and you just feel like things are lighter and you're on the lighter side of life. They have a way of just kind of making something that is just so dense and serious not so serious, right? They have a way of kind of lightening things up and just uplifting the mood and making you feel good to be around them and to be in their presence if they're on the positive side of the number, which also helps to heal people, right? It all comes back to that, you guys being the great healers. And that's because of that double 3 energy. If you want to find out more about the positives and negatives in number 3, I'll put a link to that video below because some of that will apply to you guys as well. Now, when it comes to creativity, this can also be expressed through creating a family and creating children, right? Because having children is an act of creation. So having children or creating a family can be very important to some master number 33s because of this need to create something and to nurture it. Also, creating a business as well, or creating something that you have made yourself. Because like a child, a business needs to be nurtured and it needs to be taken care of. And so some of that nurturing ability can go into creating a business. And you will see some 33s doing this and doing it really well. And because of that 6 energy, this can be really good for them to not have to work for somebody else and to kind of be in control of themselves. If you're on the positive side of 33, because of that 6 energy, you guys can be very responsible, very stable, and very sensible. 6 is a very responsible number. It's all about family and community. And often master number 33s will be involved in charity or involved in their community in some sort of way. And it's very common for them and to be heavily involved in their family as well because of the 6 energy. Now, also because of that 6 energy, they tend to be very idealistic. Right? They want things to be perfect and they have an ideal vision for everything. And they can be very imaginative as well. And they can, they have a vision and they can bring it together. They have a vision of how they want their home to look and how they want their family to look and this and that. And they can often bring it together with their great imaginative and idealistic skills. So now we're going to talk about the negatives and the shadow side of master number 33. And I'm not saying that all 33s have these negative qualities. You might have a few of them and you might not have any of them. Or on some days you might have all of them and on other days you might not have any of them. So there is no judgment here. I'm not trying to trigger anybody here. But if some of these things do trigger you, then that might be an area that needs some healing. And remember, awareness is everything. So just becoming aware of some of this stuff will help it to go away, right? It will help to heal some of it. So the first thing with master number 33s is that you guys tend to have extreme expectations, and this is very common for all of the master numbers. You guys have lived many, many lifetimes before. You wouldn't have been given a master number if this was your first lifetime. So you've done it all. You've been through all of the stages of all the other numbers, and you've kind of seen what it's like to have everything and to go through all of that. And so you have extreme expectations for your life. Right? You set the bar really, really high. So even if things are going okay, or you have things that other people would be satisfied with in life, you might feel like it's not enough. Like there could be more. You could be doing more. Or you could have so much more in this one area. It could be so much more than what you have. And why hasn't that happened yet? So, and especially with master 33s, you guys have really extreme high standards on top of all of this, in addition to the extreme expectations and the high bar that you've set. Because of that 6 energy, you guys already have such high standards to begin with, even without being a master number. And, you tend to be perfectionist if you have this number. And sometimes that perfectionism can be very self-destructive. Through this demand that things have to be perfect, that people have to be perfect, that life has to be perfect. It can be very destructive. And you guys can be very hypercritical, especially of yourselves, okay? You're holding everybody else to a high bar and to very high standards, but you're doing this the most to yourself, constantly criticizing yourself. There's like this inner dialogue going on in your head constantly of, oh, I didn't do it right. I could do it better. I'm not doing it right. It could be so much better. And often you guys are so hypercritical of yourselves because you are afraid of any kind of rejection. So you will put up a front by trying to look perfect. Picture perfect. Perfect clothes, hair, makeup, every day, all the time. And so sometimes when 33s are like this, they will get burned out and they will stop trying altogether because nobody can be perfect all the time. And so before you can feel the love and acceptance from other people, you need to love and accept yourself first. Go easier on yourself. Don't be so critical of yourself and learn to accept yourself just exactly the way you are. Also, this will help you with your fear of being criticized by other people. That's a big one for master number 33s, is the fear of rejection, the fear of criticism. This worry that if you put yourself out there, that you will be criticized or you will be rejected. And this can lead to extreme anxiety or extreme depression. And this is common with master 33s, going through bouts of extreme depression, where maybe some days you might be really happy and on other days you might be really sad. So the depression can be consistent or it can be off and on. Because 33s can be some of the most happiest people that you have ever met. They can also be some of the most depressed and saddest people that you have ever met because of that double 3 energy. And this can happen because of the perfectionism and extreme expectations, but it can also happen if a 33 feels like they are not being as creative or self-expressive as they would like. They might be in a profession that doesn't allow them to do this, or if they're not given the chance to express themselves, if they don't feel like they have an outlet to do that, it can also cause extreme depression. Sometimes this can also happen if a 33 is working for somebody else and they feel like they're not able to create their own thing. Sometimes it's good for them to kind of like do their own thing, like create their own business, right? That creative energy can also be towards creating your own business, where you're working for yourself and not another person. Now, 33s on the negative side can sometimes be very self-absorbed. And because this is a master number, sometimes we'll have a huge ego. But the main thing here is that there is a battle going on between the 3 and the 6 energy, okay? So remember, there's 2 3s in the 33, but if you add the 3s together, you get a 6. And there's going to be a constant push and pull between the 3 and the 6 energy. And you might have felt this your whole entire life. And with the 3 energy, it's a very childlike energy, wanting to go out and play, wanting to have fun. The 6 energy is very, very responsible and very adult-like and very parental, right? It's that nurturing energy. So with the 33s, I often see a battle between the childlike energy of the 3 and the more responsible adult-like energy of the number 6. And because of this, 33s on the negative side of the number will have the more negative qualities of the number 6, which is more controlling and meddling. Okay, so the 6 energy can be very helpful, but on the negative side of that, it's being helpful in some ways to control, the outcome of things and to kind of control what's happening. So the negative side of this is being very controlling, meddling in situations and in affairs and in people's lives in certain areas when people don't really want that kind of intrusion. Also self-righteousness. So kind of this feeling of that you know better, I know better and you should listen to me because I know more than you do. Also because of the 6 energy, sometimes on the negative side, 33s can be very idealistic to a fault, where they idolize the person and they put them on a pedestal and they're seeing another person with rose-colored glasses, right? So when they first get into a relationship, they might, put on the rose-colored glasses and only see the good things, and, all the red flags and the negative things about a person, they might kind of sweep that under the rug. And then what happens is that eventually the flaws of that person start to appear and the cracks start to appear, and the 33 will feel like they got duped by that person and that person was not who they thought they were, when the rose-colored glasses finally get ripped off. And that's because of that 6 energy. And also with the negative 6 energy, sometimes 33s can be very untrusting, not trusting people, not trusting the universe, not trusting themselves, and especially other people. Now on the negative side of number 3, some 33s can be very self-indulgent and very self-absorbed. Also, they can be scattered and very disorganized sometimes. So difficulty with planning things, difficulty, just organizing everything and being punctual and getting to things on time. And they're not utilizing the 6 energy that can help them with some of this, right? Because the 6s are not scattered at all. But they're not utilizing that 6 energy, and they can be putting their energy into multiple projects and not completing something before they move on to something else, or they're just taking on too many things all at once. Now, sometimes 33s can have bad listening skills also, and that's because sometimes on the negative side of the number 3, they're not always the best listeners. And so that's because the 3s that are on the more extroverted side are more about expressing themselves and having, a way to communicate. And so they're really good at that and not always good at listening. But not all 3s are like that. Some 3s are more on the introverted side, the ones that are more creative and more artistic. And those ones can have good listening skills. But sometimes you will see this with 33s. Now, also, as I had mentioned before, because the 3 energy is very childlike, sometimes 33s can be very irresponsible, which is completely the opposite of the positive 33 that is very responsible, right? And also, sometimes they can be very childish, very self-indulgent, childish, and selfish sometimes, which is completely the opposite of the positive 33 that is very focused on helping and taking care of other people. So let me know in the comments below if any of this resonated with you. What has been your experience so far as a master number 33? And what has helped you to get over some of your shadow side and some of your struggles as a master 33? Let us know in the comments below, because it could really help a lot of people. So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with other people. If you want to check out my services and book a reading with me, I will put that information below in the description box. And I would love to have you subscribe and become part of the family. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I'm sending you light and love, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.